Hello and welcome to the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life. My name is Kyle Case and I'll be your host on this amazing journey as we attempt to help you get the most out of your life. Joining me in the studio today is my co-pilot, Jeff Harding. Jeff, how are you today?
I am doing wonderfully, Kyle. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
You're looking well.
Well, thank you. So was it fair to say you're in a good mood?
I am in an excellent mood. I've been talking with some great folks. I've actually been in a training class today about volunteerism.
Oh, okay.
It's been a wonderful day.
Awesome. You learned all about how to do it or how to recruit volunteers or all of the above?
Well, they taught all that. Hopefully I learned it.
Well, that's good. That's good. You look good. You look like you're in a good mood. Did you know, Jeff, that certain food that we eat affects the way that we feel?
I know when I eat a lot of food, it affects the way I feel, but I'm sure there are certain foods that can affect our mood, yes.
Yes, indeed. There are quantities as well as quality.
I think you're right,
Yeah,
yes.
So it is true. Eating certain foods can affect the way that we feel. It affects our moods. And I've got 5 foods that can positively affect the way that we feel.
Cool. Maybe I ate one of them today.
Maybe you did. Yeah, I'll bet you did.
It's possible.
At least one of them.
Okay.
Let's start at the top.
Okay. No ice cream, though.
Well, that makes you feel good in a different way. Different way. Let's talk about foods that have a positive, long-lasting effect.
I was just telling you I had no ice cream today.
Oh, okay. So you were safe on that one.
Yes.
Okay, the first one, did you have asparagus today?
No.
No asparagus, okay.
I seldom have asparagus.
Do you like asparagus?
If it's cooked right, I don't mind it.
Really?
Yeah. Sauteed in butter and lots of butter.
Or deep fried or something.
Did I mention butter?
Asparagus is probably not my favorite food. To me, it tastes a lot like dirt. Some people say it has an earthy taste.
Or eating grass.
Yeah. No, it's not. To me, it's not even grass. It tastes like the dirt.
It's not that good. Okay.
But regardless, it is an excellent source of tryptophan.
Oh, wow.
Now, we know about tryptophan from turkey and Thanksgiving, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, tryptophan increases serotonin levels, and serotonin regulates brain functions such as mood, appetite, sleep, and memory. Mm-hmm. And low levels of serotonin may cause anxiety, depression, or moodiness. So if you're feeling not quite like yourself, maybe you could saute up some asparagus and some butter and eat it with
just
butter.
Just between me and you, I'd rather get some turkey, but we can try that. We can try the asparagus.
Okay, asparagus. That's the first thing. The second thing, this is kind of a catch-all category, and that's fruits and vegetables, which, of course, asparagus is a vegetable. But we all know that eating fruits and vegetables is good for you.
And I like it. I do like fruits and vegetables.
I know that you do. And I think that there are lots that I like as well. There are some that probably aren't my favorite. But, But did you know why eating fruits and vegetables makes us feel good?
Besides the fact that they taste good?
Yeah.
No, why?
Well, it's the vitamins.
Oh, okay. So our body's getting the nutrients they need, so it says, hey, I feel good.
That's right. Fruits and vegetables in particular have lots of B vitamins, which are responsible for mood and increased energy. There's a wide variety of B vitamins in produce. B2 is found in spinach and mushrooms. Vitamin B3 is in avocados. B6 is in bananas. B9 is in broccoli. And that's just to name a few. There's lots of B vitamins, lots of vitamins and minerals when you eat fruits and vegetables. And, of course, they're full of antioxidants,
right,
which keeps cells healthy and ward off disease. And a healthy body is indeed a happy body.
Yes, it is.
So there's something to keep in mind as you're looking for something to snack on.
Right.
Fruits and vegetables.
Always safe.
Number 3, omega-3 fatty acids. And we find these particularly in fish.
Okay.
So salmon, sardines, tuna, shrimp, they all contain omega-3s. Our bodies don't make omega-3 fatty acids on their own. So we have to get them from food sources. And
we need them, though.
We need them, yeah. Omega-3s, they help raise serotonin levels as well, which, same thing we said about asparagus. It creates a feeling of well-being. It also increases dopamine levels when you eat omega-3s, and the brain releases dopamine in times of excitement or pleasure. So if you're feeling down, maybe have a piece of fish.
There you go, which would be a little bit more fun than having some asparagus.
Yeah, but not as much fun as ice cream.
That's true.
Okay, number 4. This is one that is kind of a new food that's kind of hit the scene here in America. It's quinoa. Are you familiar with quinoa?
I just wanted to say gesundheit.
Yeah, so exactly. The first time my sister-in-law introduced me to quinoa, that's exactly what I said was, bless you. But no, quinoa is a grain. It's a complex carb, but it's also a complete protein. So it's not rice, but it's kind of a rice type. You eat it like you would eat rice.
Okay.
So anyway, we've started to eat a little bit of it. We don't have it every meal, but we have it every once in a while. It's got a good flavor to it. It helps keep your blood sugar levels in check. It helps you avoid the dips that can happen when your blood sugar drops off, which cause irritability, moodiness, and low energy, or that hangry feeling that we sometimes feel, right?
Yeah.
It's also gluten-free, which if you have allergies to complex carbs can be an important thing.
Right.
And quinoa is even better when it's paired with vegetables to add even more mood-boosting antioxidants and vitamins.
Did it say where that vegetable came or where the grain came from?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. Probably Asia, I'm guessing.
One of those exotic places.
Yeah, I don't know, but it is available here in the States now.
Cool. It's
not that hard to find. It's spelled weird. It's Quinoa.
Of course it is.
Quinoa. So there you go. Try it out. You might like it. I said, you would eat it on the side like you would a rice. You might use it in a stir fry or something like that, and it's not bad.
And your kids
good.
don't mind it.
No, my kids both like it.
Oh, good. Well,
which is
that's important because when you're feeding kids along with you, then
you want to feed them something that everybody will eat, right?
They'll eat, right?
Okay, wrapping this up. The last one. This is the one that we've been waiting for.
Should we do the drum roll?
Yeah. Dark chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right?
As long as it's mixed with some good sweet chocolate, then it's okay.
Yeah, the good tasty milk chocolate, right?
Yes.
I'm with you. A lot of people prefer dark chocolate. I prefer the good old sweet, buttery, creamy milk chocolate. But dark chocolate does actually have some health benefits. If you eat a square of chocolate with at least 70% cacao chocolate, it can create a happiness boost. Dark chocolate is a great source of tryptophan as well, so it regulates all those same good feelings, which we just talked about. It also increases circulation to the brain, resulting in alertness, improved reaction time, and problem solving. And it's even been shown to improve short-term memory.
So what we need to do then is eat the dark chocolate and then eat real chocolate right afterwards, because that way our brain will think about it better, it'll understand it better, it'll enjoy it more because it's clear and thinking better.
I see your plan here. I see your plan.
Makes sense.
Well, there you go. 5 things that we can eat, Jeff, that will improve our mood if they're not just listening to you, which always improves the mood.
Don't listen to me.
But we got to eat the right stuff, right?
That's right. It is
Speaking,
important.
Jeff, of the right stuff, our guest today definitely is someone who has the right stuff. Bill Cunningham has spent most of his life trying to create the perfect body. And in many ways, he's really been successful.
We need to clarify his perfect body.
His perfect body.
He's not Frankenstein. He's not Frankenstein.
Good clarification.
He's trying to make his body more perfect. Okay.
But listen to this, Jeff. He has won over 100 bodybuilding titles, over 100 titles.
That's amazing.
Including Olympia gold medalist in 2003 and 2005. He's won Masters Mr. America, Masters Mr. Universe, Masters Mr. Olympia, Masters Mr. USA, and World Cup Masters champion, just to name a few. And that is year after year. He's always out there looking great. He looks good. He's a personal trainer. And Bill, we're so glad that you could join us today. Thank you.
Well, it's fantastic being here. I'm listening to the comments on the nutritional part here. Very, very, very exciting. I love the dark chocolate one, though. That may improve your brain, but it'll turn you into a butterball if you eat enough.
A little too much.
But it was still good. It's still good.
Do they have dark chocolate in Ireland?
Oh, they have dark chocolate. Absolutely. You know?
So, Bill, obviously from your accent, you're from Ireland.
I'm from Belfast, Northern Ireland.
So tell us a little bit about growing up and being active in Ireland, and then maybe how you got over here in the States.
Well, pretty much Ireland is a country that has been emigrating people from day one, way back into the 18th century.
One of its greatest imports is people.
Yes. So basically, the amount of people that leave Ireland, they either go to 4 countries: Australia, South Africa. They go to New Zealand, which is hard to get into, United States or Canada. That's basically was the goal. You couldn't get into the States unless you went through Canada, for instance. So as a boy, the work situation, you go to work in Ireland, you start work at 14. I left school at 14 like everyone else. And you kind of that's your school. Then you have to go into work to provide money for the house. Everyone had to go to work. You handed your mother the little pouch with money in it type of thing. And it provided you to for your next wage again that you got. So anyway, most people, when they get to the point where you serve your trade, I always happened to be a machinist, after the 4 or 5 years of trade, then you want to leave to see what the rest of the world's about. So I left, emigrated to Canada, Toronto, Canada.
And how old were you when you left?
I was 21.
Okay.
I arrived in Toronto, Canada, and lived there for 5 years, 4 to 5 years. And within that time, again, it was pretty rough trying to get work. But it gave me, I had a great sense of social activity growing up in Ireland. And by the time you get into your 20s, you're pretty much, you have street sense. And I had street sense that was able to carry me through. But the 4 years, I worked in 28 different occupations, believe it or not, in a 4-year period. Yes.
Wow, that's impressive.
Ended up working on the docks. And have you ever watched the movie with Marlon Brando on the waterfront? I was looking at myself every time I see that.
That was you.
But that's how it is. And then I eventually emigrated down to the United States.
Okay. So you've been a bodybuilder for a good part of your life.
I started at 17, and I was a soccer player in those days. Started at 17. I entered my first contest at 19, and that was a junior Mr. Ireland or something like that. And then when I got to Canada, I started keeping up with the training, etc. And I knew my love was connected within that barrier of training people. And I'd done it with soccer players and basketball players and so forth. So coming down to California was the mecca of bodybuilding. Everybody talked about Muscle Beach and so forth. And everything started from there. So.
Well, if you're just joining us, you're listening to the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life, and we are visiting with professional bodybuilder and personal trainer Bill Cunningham. You just talked about kind of your migration to California. So you ended up in California. As you say, that was kind of Muscle Beach bodybuilding headquarters.
Yeah, that was where everyone headed. My mentors were Steve Reeves and a lot of the older bodybuilders, John Grimmick were the names, Reg Park, that sort of thing. So everybody wanted to see what Muscle Beach was all about.
Sure.
It's like just a camping ground for Jack LaLanne was one of the people then in those days also. So I got to see all of that, and then I kept up with my training. And after going through a multitude of jobs, I ended up at the Beverly Hills Health Club.
Okay.
And that was where everything started for me as a career. I got into the movie business. I trained anywhere from Rock Hudson, Steve McQueen, Tony Randall, Roger Moore, you name it, I trained them. And that was a great breaking point for me. I'd done that for 8 years and met a lot of incredible, interesting people and was able to get some work in the movies, et cetera, et cetera. So I worked a lot of those. McQueen, I worked training for the Bullet movie, Thomas Crown Affair, all of that stuff. So it was really an exciting 5 years for me. It was just fantastic.
Wow, sounds like it.
Very cool.
So let's talk a little bit about training and maybe try to understand the importance of resistance training as it applies to other sports aside from bodybuilding, which isn't obvious there, obviously. But let's talk about what are the benefits of resistance training.
All right. Well, basically, of all the years I was training people, I don't think I trained more than 1% who wanted to compete. 99% of people basically wanted to feel good, look good, be able to really have energy, et cetera, et cetera. Now, you asked the question, what does weight training do in that aspect? First of all, it does away with, you can lower your cholesterol, of course, with training. There's specific ways of training, and what I'm seeing today is a big change. I was able to study the human body, anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, and so forth, and was able to come to different forms of training. I would train a soccer player a little different than I would train maybe a basketball player and so forth. So the majority of people that I worked out with were people that had osteoporosis, they had MS, they had all sorts of conditions and diseases. And I know it may not, but as far as talking about it over the air, but I brought some people who were cripples in wheelchairs back to form again with resistant movement. I had a man who was the oldest then at the time, was 89, and within inside of 4 weeks, his bone density increased 38%. Now, I'm going back now to the 70s, 60s and 70s.
Wow.
And to this day, to me, I don't see any sport other than a gymnast that can really develop to that point as far as bringing your body to its genetic maximum potential. Weight training will do that because not only will it lower the cholesterol, the main thing as we get older is people basically have to have arteries pretty much clean and so forth. We need to have blood flow on a constant basis.
Right.
And not only are you doing that, and it doesn't have to be lifting weights, I mean heavy weights. It can be very light, progressive weights that's going to stimulate blood flow to the point where it's either a high rep formation, it's either a low rep, depending where you want to go. But you need a trainer that knows those particular movements. Today we're losing it. We're getting into functional training, which is great. It's fantastic. But I've trained people for the Huntsman's games. I had a few guys 2 years ago, and one was a shot putter, as far as I remember. So it's a point of trying to give him an overall program that's going to pretty much give him the strength at that particular area where he's trying to function due to the shot putting. So it's fantastic for anyone, athlete or non-athlete.
So, especially among women, I hear a lot that, I don't want to lift weights because I don't want to get all bulky and manly looking. I hear that sometimes. Is that a case that happens?
It's a big myth, and it's like you'll get muscle bound. Well, you can't bind a muscle to a joint. It's so phony and false. I don't know where that started many years ago. But I have the oldest woman, when I retired a few years ago, that I had, she was 89. She's now 93. Like, she's still pumping iron. She's still doing her thing. So she still,
quote unquote, lifts weights even at 93.
Yes, and it's very light. To me, weight is very relative. If I can lift 100 pounds off the floor and she can only lift 5 pounds, the weight is relative. If that's all she can do for 15 repetitions, let's say.
That's enough, right?
That's it. That is heavy weight. It's relative. So it's a matter of getting programmed, starting out very, very light, very easy, along with good eating habits, and taking it along slow. You got to crawl before you can walk. This is basically what it's all about.
That's true.
Very true.
That's
very
true.
True.
That's the way most things work, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
So here's my question. We've been doing this show for a while now, and our goal is to help people live an active and a healthy life. What would you say to someone who, really hasn't had any experience with weight training, and they're just maybe wanting to start somewhere? How would you recommend that they go from nothing, sitting on the couch, to, okay, I'm going to do something and get the ball rolling?
Well, first of all, the whole idea, basically, there's so many health clubs in St. George. And there are trainers. There are some. I belong to a club now. I don't know why I can mention it on the air or not, but
you can mention it, Bill.
It's Elevation Fitness. Now, that club is a load of machines in there, and there's also free weights. I prefer starting a person who's never lifted weights in their life for resistant movement to start very slowly on a chest movement, machine-wise, because the machine works. You go in one area, one angle. You're not struggling to go off balance with it. So if you can get something that's going to work chest, shoulders, back, arms, legs, abdominals, Once you get that period of training over, the body starts getting used to the blood flow, getting used to the pump and so forth. Then from there, you start in very light with the same movements with lightweight. It could be 2 pounds. I've started people off with 2 pounds in each hand.
Yeah.
And then gradually start building up to a point where they're really getting into a full workout.
Awesome.
Well, I'm gonna don't get a whiplash. I'm gonna change the subject a little bit here, change direction. But I understand there's an event coming up next week, and I thought you might want to tell us about it.
Yes, partly there's the senior connection, and it's on the 23rd from 9 o'clock to 1:30 in the morning. It's at the Dixie Conventional Center, and I have a exhibit of pictures and photos that I'm going to have on display. And I'm there also to answer questions and answers for any of the Huntsman game athletes also. I'll be there to give them free advice and so forth. If they come around and see me at the booth, I'll only be too happy helping them out.
Awesome. So it's called the Senior Connection. Tell me the times again.
It's 9 to 1:30 on the 23rd of February, which is a Tuesday.
Over at the Dixie Center Convention Center.
This Dixie Center Convention Center.
Wonderful. Well, we ought to make sure people know about that.
That's right.
Send them
and
over
invite
there.
them to come.
So you said that you've been training some Huntsman World Senior Games athletes. What advice do you have for someone who's maybe, again, sitting on the fence of whether or not to compete in the Huntsman World Senior Games? Does competition help move people forward?
Well, again, if a person hasn't worked out, and let's say they are athletes or they are connecting with some of the Huntsman Games stuff, the people I've trained with, now, for instance, there's people where they play golf and they play tennis, and I see them working on the area of a swing and so forth. That is not the way to train, if I may say it. The whole idea, if you are going to compete in any sport in the Huntsman Games, you've got to put the body to test from the shoulders to the chest to the back to the bicep to the tricep to the quadricep and the legs to the calves and so forth. If you do a program that connects with all of those movements, I don't care what sport you're going to be doing at the Huntsman Games, you are going to see an increase in that sport that you're doing, in energy and feeling good and looking better.
So you're saying regardless of the sport, from pickleball to a running road race, cycling.
If you strengthen, forget about the one area, like a golfer will come in and say, Bill, I need to do swings. I say, that's the last thing you're going to do with me. Strengthening up the other muscle groups, and that's a combination of all of that. You put it together, then you start being specific.
Interesting. So
that's
you start
the way
out
to
with
train.
the full body, getting your muscles strong.
Absolutely.
Resistance training.
200%. And I've trained thousands of people, and that's been my whole format. Bringing your body to its genetic maximum potential.
That is somewhat intuitive. That does make sense.
Awesome. Bill, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much. This has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed it very much. You two are great. These are great.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
We definitely appreciate you taking time out of your schedule and joining us, and hopefully we can have you back another time.
Thank you so much.
Well, Jeff, just to wrap things up here, we are registering teams for the Huntsman World Senior Games.
That's right.
If you're a team manager for basketball, soccer, softball, volleyball, now is the time to get registered. In fact, I just did a report this morning with team registration being open since the 1st of January. We have registered over 310 total teams.
From the various disciplines.
From the various sports. So there's teams that are coming in. So now's the time to do it.
Yeah, last year we did actually have to close softball and volleyball.
And volleyball both. So if you're participating in a team sport, make sure that you reserve your team space.
That's right.
The dates for the 2016 games are October 3rd through the 15th. We plan on having a great year this year, and we hope that you'll plan to participate. Team registration, as I mentioned, has been open for a while, but our athlete registration will open on March 1st That's just a couple weeks
That's
away.
very close.
So at the office, we're well underway with the last-minute preparations, making sure that everything is ready to go. By the 1st of March, we'll be opening up registration. And again, we want to invite you to come and be a part of it.
Our 30th anniversary.
That's right. I was just about to mention.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
Not at all. Not at all. It is our 30th year this year. 30 years of fostering worldwide peace, health, and peace, health, and friendship. And we are planning on celebrating all year long. So watch for ways to win prizes and even free registrations on Facebook.com/World Senior Games, as well as on our own homepage, which is seniorgames.net.
Right.
And don't forget to tune in next Thursday and every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Mountain Time on AM 1450 or FM 93.1 for the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life. You can listen to this and any other previous episode right from our website at seniorgames.net. Here's our inspirational quote for the day from one of my favorites, Walt Disney. The difference between winning and losing is most often not quitting. Until next Thursday,
Amen.
Stay active.
Bye, everyone.